A bit up, up. Yeah, there you go.
I'm a fan, you know.
Well, my name is Antal. I started Rush Hour record shop in '97. I started it with a friend of mine at the time, Christian. We were just more into records, you know, and we just wanted to get our hands on records. But obviously, at the time we were like 17, 18, so you don't have a lot of budget, you know, to buy stuff. So you need to be creative. We just started to look for cheap stock, basically, you know, and went to strange record stores in forgotten places, and then try to buy like stocks from these record shops. This was more a way for us to get into the music and to build up a collection. I would think we were doing this like maybe for 6-7 months, and then a friend of mine said like, oh, there is this retail combination down the street in Amsterdam where they have like a hairdresser and somebody's doing henna tattoos and is selling like clothes, like secondhand clothes, and do all sorts of stuff, and they also want records, you know, so we were like, oh, it's a good way for us to start with records. So we set up a little corner in this shop, opened up like 3 days in a week. I was still studying, and I stopped studying after a while. I was like, okay, let's be honest, you know, let's go the music route and forget about studying, because the only thing I was doing at the university was like dreaming about records and music and stuff, so it's like, all right, leave it. Well, everybody started coming to the shop and we just started hanging out, you know. It was just more like, all right, you hang out in the shop listening to music, often staying longer, you know, after closing, drinking beers and, you know, talking about music, and everybody would play in the city as well. And so you would follow each other, you know, and relationships grew from there.
It's one thing to present records in a shop, it's a different thing to present records in a club. And they did both things, and that's what made it special, and that's what really took it to another level for me. That's such a big inspiration as a producer. From that Trago era, for instance, I still have atmospheres or vibes from that evening in my mind, and maybe subconsciously try to translate it into productions these days. Here it's about music. I mean, you see the shop and it's always about music, and also the conversations you have. Sometimes it can be like you have to do some business or you can talk about that, but in the end it's always about that passion, and you still feel that.
Since they opened up the shop a couple of stores down the road, I've been there and been a big fan, because they schooled me with music and love and partying. These guys came with like underground electronic music, but also serving up Afro, Brazil, and this totally broke my heart. And I fell in love, and that's why I got the tat. I'm in love with this shop.
I think it really influenced how you see your career, because you have Antal, who is already doing this for such a long time, but also people like Sam Proper, Trago, and all those guys already been in the game so long, so you don't have to discover everything for yourself. Like, they can learn you a lot about how you should take certain steps, how to release music and when, and what stage you should release music or why you shouldn't release music yet. Yeah, they help you a lot, yeah.
No, but there's too many memories, man. We have to write a book about it if you really want to know the backstory. I'm a right one.
Well, the in-stores at a small shop, those were crazy. No, I think they're searching for boundaries as well. Obviously, because you have a shop, you have different flavors, different kind of genres, but they make it sort of a cohesive thing where you can play that same music like a whole night. For me, that's Rush Hour. It's like a broad palette of sounds, and that's the same thing with Amsterdam. I think Amsterdam is really a diverse city with a lot of cultures. This embodies that same spirit.
I think underground music is, generally speaking, it's not aiming for the dollar or the pound or whatever you want. The euro. It's about passion for music, and that's what they lived up to, and it pays off.
I guess people always want to talk about the next level and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's just music appreciation and the digging and the search for new exciting things. That's literally the drive of what we're doing here. So maybe you could say like, oh, now it's time to have a festival, or now it's time to have a shop in New York, or now it's time to have a shop in wherever, you know, but it doesn't work like that. I mean, this is not how we do it, you know. The big step really was to have this proper location now, because we can really breathe what we're doing here. We have the space to do it and we have the space to expose it. That's the most important thing. People can come in and hopefully enjoy the environment and have a relaxed way of browsing through music and stuff. And yeah, that's just what we do, you know.